we were discussing on the 10th chapter of Bhagavad. I believe we completed the text right? So today we will complete the last section or this last section of the 10th chapter. This is the second one, the appearances of the scripture. Let us begin. Instructions. Shatta Sarvabhikshan, Rasa Vikshan, Devakshan, Andharanam Chitram, Siddhanam, Virumani, of the priests and the banking trade, of the sages, not the demigods, of the Gandharvas and Chitraratha, and among the perfect beings I am the sage. Banyan tree Ashwatthama is one of the heaviest and the most beautiful trees. The people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Once the demigods, Lord's worship God, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. Thus, he is a representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharva planet is spread with entities who sing beautifully and tell the best singers to the when the perfect living entities, Kapila, the son of Devahuti, is a representative of Krishna. He is considered as an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in Srila Bhagavad. The Kapila basically famous his philosophy was atheist. Therefore, there is a gulf of difference. Hare Krishna. Is the voice clear?
Yes, so it's clear.
this section actually serves multiple purposes. So on one level, we see that it's a very beautiful qualitative visualization or meditation on Krishna. Who exactly Krishna is. It's a very beautiful meditation on Krishna. And we can understand how great the Supreme Lord is. It's a beautiful meditation. Yes, this is Krishna. This is an attribute of Krishna. This is another attribute. All these greatness combined together. That is Krishna. Krishna is the best of everything. You understand how exactly Krishna is. The best of everything. So that's the idea. Like you said, okay, how exactly Krishna is. Lord Spirit of Lord, Mother Woman, the base of Lord, with there, the base of Lord. That's how exactly Krishna is. The best of everything. In the same way, we are seeing that in all these spaces, the best in every patient, in every patient represents Krishna, represents the manifestation. The next principle to understand is that deep within the matter is a pointer to Krishna. So deep within matter is a pointer to Krishna. That's how we quote the scientist Lord Kelvin. Says, if you think deeply enough, first by matter, believe in balance. Why? Deep within matter is pointed to Krishna. So why is matter attractive? Any facet of matter? Because it is a reflection of Krishna. Krishna is there. The foundation of that is Krishna. Therefore, the deep within matter there is a pointer to Krishna. So that matter is attractive because it's actually reflecting one of the aspects of Krishna. Because Krishna is the foundation. Because it's connected in some way to Krishna. Therefore, it is attractive, but not completely satisfying because it is not directly Krishna. That's the principle. Another principle in this meditation is that when we when we are strongly connected to Krishna, then matter becomes very relational. Why? Because one is saved from the poisonous effect of matter. And then one can be truly very happy. So one's experience of matter is enhanced. This Just like one devotee, the other day we were hearing in class what Pierre Guru say. What Pierre Guru was. One devotee telling Prabhupada, Prabhupada, ocean is so nice, so good, so nice. Prabhupada said, yes, from a distance. So when there is no attitude of self-gratification, then it is then one is distant from the poisonous effects of metal energy. And one can see or one can release a very panoramic view. Like one is distant from the ocean, one can experience the panoramic view of waves. One is within it, this will finish. It's not deep, not no more panoramic. It is devastating now. Another thing what to understand from here is that in Krishna, the best of all experiences are embedded. So, how one feels when one is sitting beneath the banyan tree, one will feel much more blissful or much more powerful, or that feeling will be much more intense when one is chanting meditation. So, how one feels if one gets the association of harmony, chanting Hare Krishna, one can experience much greater experience. That's the point. By even if one gets into the singing, when he's hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Katha, one can have greater experience than that. That's what it means. That in Krishna, all these experiences are embedded. Let's see. जय सच्चिदानंद बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी सुदर्शन शिव गुरुपाद की जय. उच्चश्रवासामश्वानम् विद्धिमाम् अमृतोद्भवम् ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणाम् नरनां च नराधिपान्. Of the horses know me to be Uchishra, produced during the journey of the ocean for nectar. Of the lordly elephants I am Eravat, and among men I am the monarch. The devoted demigods and the demons as well as wants to be journeying of the sea. From this journey, nectar and the poison were produced. Lord Shiva drank the poison. From the nectar were produced many entities, of which there was a horse named Uchishrava. Another animal produced from the nectar was the elephant named Airavat. Because these two animals were produced from nectar, they have special significance. And they are representatives of Krishna. Among the human beings, the king is a representative of Krishna because the king is the maintainer of the universe, and the kings who are appointed on account of their godly qualifications are maintainers of their kingdoms. Kings like Maharaj Yudhishthira, Maharaj Parikshit, and Lord Ram, righteous kings, who always thought of the citizens' welfare. In Vedic literature, the king is considered to be the representative of God. In this age, however, with the corruption of the principles of religion, monarchy decayed and is now finally abolished. It is to be understood in the past, however, people were more happy under the righteous king. So how happy we will feel when we are having uh, how happy we will feel when we are having say a horse rider, a chishta, very special horse. It can cover thousands of miles, celestial horse. Similarly, Airaval is having a ride on Airaval. Airaval, there's special powers. Can go here to there, from one planet to another. It's so powerful. Similarly, what kind of experience we will get when we are with the king? Better than that experience we'll get when we are with Krishna. That's when we are serving the mission of the spiritual master. Better than that experience we can get. Ayudanam aham vajram. He was given to Bali Maharaj. He was given to Bali Maharaj. Lord Vishnu gave him. Richishra was given to Bali Maharaj. Airavat was given to Indra. Surabhi was given. Surabhi was also given to the sages. Like that, the Lord distributed various uh, various gifts to the various personalities. Varuni was offered to Bali Maharaj. There was a lady called Varuni. She was offered to Bali. Ayudhanam vajram Denunam asmikamadhu Prajanaschaspik Kandarpa Sarpanam Vasuki. Of the weapons I am thunderbolts. Among the cows I am Surabhi. Of the causes of procreation I am Kandarpa, Cupid, the god of love. And of the serpents I am Vasuki. So the thunderbolt indeed is a mighty weapon which represents Krishna's power. Krishna Loka, the spiritual sky, there are cows which can be milked at any time and they give us much milk, as much milk as one likes. Of course, such cows do not exist in the material world, but there is a mention of them in Krishna Loka. The Lord keeps many such cows which are called Surabhi. It is said that the Lord is engaged in herding the Surabhi cows. Kandarpa is the sex desire for presenting good sons, therefore Kandarpa is representative of Krishna. Sometimes sex is engaged only for sense gratification, but such sex does not represent Krishna. But sex for the generation of good children is called Kandarpa and that represents Krishna. Yeah. So here we are learning if one has Krishna, one has everything. One need not fear. So Hare Krishna can act as a most lethal weapon also. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed that in the first civil disobedience movement against Chandraji. Devotees are just chanting Hare Krishna. They are not doing anything else. They had mashal, which was lit mashals, which they had there because it was at dusk time. But then they were So thunderbolts. So one it was like a thunderbolt. So the Hare Krishna can act like a thunderbolt. But Krishna was dancing in Lotus feet. But for Kaliya, there are thunderbolts. So Krishna's presence and touch can be a very great weapon, mostly through the. Therefore, a devotee is not fearful of it. Because the devotee is Krishna, devotee has everything. All one's desires to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead and preach Krishna consciousness can be fulfilled by the Supreme Lord. That's what we learn from the Surabhi example. Unlimited grace and spiritual desires can be fulfilled by the provided the sincere take shelter. From this Kandapa analogy, we can understand that even a seemingly entangling activity can be purified if one is rightly situated in Krishna consciousness. So previously we were seeing the mention of the elephant description, Airavat. So actually, material life, spiritual life is like riding on Airavat. It's a gorgeous, legendary spiritual life. What is material life like? Material life is like riding on a choices are also. You want to ride on a donkey? Uh, yeah, material life is like riding on a donkey. Spiritual life is like riding on Airavat. It's very gorgeous. It's very legendary. It's very elegant. Let's see if where yeah, the Lord is not mentioning Ananta Shel, the Lord is not mentioning Sudarshan because they are not material. Krishna is giving material and much is here. Sudarshan is not material. Similarly, Ananta Shel is spiritual. The Lord is giving material and not material. Vasuki, why the Lord is saying? Because Vasuki was ignorant. Vasuki was not in any knowledge. But the Lord still engaged him in such a wonderful, glorious service. Vasuki was fully ignorant, but it is used. Similarly, we may be very ignorant, but if we simply offer ourselves, make ourselves available to the senior devotees in the parampara, and the parampara can use it for chanting of nectar, historic, and we will not. So anybody can be used in a very glorious historical mission. That's why Vasuki is example. And how Krishna consciousness is most powerful and most transformative. That's why it's chosen. Now, what was great in Vasuki? The greatness in Vasuki was the Vasuki's fortune. Similarly, what is great in us? Nothing is great in us. But there's a fortune. We are also fortunate when we are introduced. We have the opportunity of going back to God. Yes. Harmony. Yeah, because Harmony, he, he practiced devotional service to become a pure devotee. Sudarshan is an eternal associate with him. Anantashesh is the Lord himself. Now Lord Anantashesh is. Anantashasminagam Varuno यदा साम अहं पितॄणाम् अर्यामः चास्मि यमा संयमताम् of the many-hooded Nagas, I am the Ananta, and among the aquatics and the demigod Varuna of the departed ancestors, and Aryama, and among the dispensers of law. I am Yama, the Lord of Death. Among the many-hooded Naga serpents, the Ananta is the greatest, and then the demigod Varuna among the aquatics. They represent Krishna. There is also a planet of Pita's ancestors presided over by Aryama, who represents Krishna. There are many living entities who give punishment to miscreants, and among them the Yama is the chief. The Yama is situated in the planet near this earthly planet, and after death, those who are very sinful are taken. And Yama arranges different degrees of punishment for them. So while Lord Nanda was not mentioned among the snakes, another reason where we can see here is because actually for us it appears everything is the same, but there are a lot of hierarchies within the reptiles. So uh, that's why like for us when we see Chinese people, and if you are able to recognize them, that okay, this is Chinese, that itself is a big achievement. So if you can actually distinguish a Chinese from a Japanese from a Korean, that itself is a very big achievement. But okay, this is Chinese, he's Korean, he's Japanese. If we can differentiate that much, it's a big achievement. But I remember one of my Chinese colleagues, she was telling me among Chinese, there are four brands or breeds groups. Uh, I don't remember the names of all of them. Then she says all have different features. So that requires a lot of acquaintance actually. Probably if one is teaching in China for 5 years or so, then one may be able to. So similarly, among the snakes, there are a lot of leaders. So when snake is given, it seems that it's a less powerful creature. But when the multi-hooded nagas are mentioned, it seems that they are more powerful creatures. And of them, most powerful is Lord. So this, yeah, the Kali is the multi-hooded naga also. Yes. Yeah. But here the mention in the translation is the many hooded nagas, the greatest is Ananda. That's what is mentioned. Hmm? One hooded, yeah. Vasuki is one hooded snake. And here the many hooded Lord Ananta, very, very powerful. Actually, Kali are very small in front of Lord Ananta. Kali are nothing in front of Lord. Kali was a small time water snake in front of Lord. Yeah, there is nothing. Krishna's grace at Krishna. No? That's why Lord Ananta was feeling very Krishna doesn't dance, so why it's like that? He's dancing in Kali also. So that's why Lord Ananta comes to play with Krishna in Chaitanya Avatar, Chaitanya Leela. Chaitanya Leela. So we have to understand that in any field, any kind of thoughts we get in Krishna consciousness, we can find the best solution. Or Krishna can give us the best solution. Therefore, if I see lawlessness around, one should understand that Krishna is Yama. Uh, Nobody in this world can create absolute lawlessness for an absolute period. Only Krishna is allowing it for some period of time to happen, therefore it is happening. Otherwise, in one stroke, Krishna just said things right. So that's why a devotee is never disturbed from his prime mission of Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna is very powerful. Similarly, if one has feelings for one's ancestors, Krishna is Ariyama. He can deliver anybody. Prahaladasya Daitya Kala Mriganam cha Mrigendro Vainateyascha Pakshina. Among the dead demons, I am the devoted Prahlad. Among the subduers, I am Time. Among the beasts, I am Lion. And among the birds, I am Garuda. So Diti and Aditi are two sisters because the sons of Aditi are called Adityas, the sons of Diti are called Daityas. All the Adityas are devotees of the Lord, and all the Daityas are atheistic. Now, although Prahlad was born formally family of the Daityas, he was a great devotee of Krishna. Because of his devotional service and godly nature, he is considered to be a representative of Krishna. So Krishna consciousness can actually exhibit or mine out or extract a completely opposite quality from a mundane manifestation. So how can a demonic person exhibit greater devotional service? Prahlad was a demon body, but he was not at all a demon. Rather, he was the greatest of the devotees. How is it possible? This is what Krishna consciousness. This is the kind of transformation which Krishna consciousness can bring about. The worst of the demons can also become the best of the devotees. This is Krishna consciousness. Among all the animals, I'm lion, the Lord is saying. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami explained, Lord God Hari is a lion. He's God Hari. Hari means lion. So when the lion roars, the lion is established in the cave of one's heart. All the insects, pests, rodents, bats, everybody runs. Snake, everybody runs. Why? Because lion has entered the cave. Similarly, Krishna enters our dark heart. All these rodents and pests, insects, everybody will run away. That is what Lord God Hari is, the lion of the animals. That's what I mentioned. Many times when people are flying in flights, people feel so privileged. They are flying in executive class, they feel so extra privileged and they feel extra proud. I am flying with hands. They feel like that. Now, what is the experience of flying in Garuda? So Krishna consciousness, the experience is like that. So Lufthansa can only take us to Frankfurt or Berlin at max. That's all. But The rider in Garuda can take us to Guru. So our flights are like Belgari in front of Lord Garuda ride. So every devotee gets this Garuda ride actually from material to spiritual, which is in front of that. Our airlines are like 16 hours, 20 hours flight airlines. They are like Belgaris, late also. Pavana, Pavana, Asmi, Rama Shastra, Pritam, Jhasanam Makaraschasmi, Shotasamasmi Janavi. Of the purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapons, I am Rama. Of the fishes, I am Shah. And of the flowing rivers, I am the Tejas. Very powerful. Feel like that when we chant Hare Krishna. I should feel as if we're on a cool wind. You know? So the experience is like that. The wielders of weapons and Rama. Of the fishes and Shah. So when we are afraid of an ocean, but if one is a shark, no fear. One is the boss in the ocean. No shark is the boss in the ocean. Who can challenge a shark? So powerful. So powerful. Whales are not so ferocious. Sharks are very ferocious. Of the flowing rivers and cages. Yes. So the word takes the shark is one of the biggest and certainly the most dangerous to man, and therefore the shark represents Krishna. Sagaranamadhirantasya madhyam shaivaham arjuna adhyatma vidya vidyana vada pravadatam. Of all the creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle, Arjuna. Of all the sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self. And among the logicians, I am the conclusive truth. So among the created manifestations, the first is the creation of the total material elements. As explained above, the cosmic manifestation is created and conducted by Mahavishnu. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Shidukshaya Vishnu. And then again, it is elevated by Lord Shiva. So Brahma is a secondary creator. All these agents of creation, maintenance, and annihilation are incarnations of the material qualities of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creation. For advanced education, there are various books of knowledge, such as the four Vedas, the six supplements, the Vedanta Sutra, the books of logic, religion, Purana. So altogether, there are 14 divisions of books of education. Of these, the book which represents Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual knowledge. In particular, the Vedanta Sutra represents Krishna. Among the logicians, there are different kinds of argument, supporting one's argument with evidence. Supporting one's argument with evidence that also supports the opposite side is called Jalpa. Merely trying to defeat one's opponent is called Vittanda, but the actual conclusion is Vada. This conclusive truth is the representation. So no Jalpa, no Vittanda, Vada. Arjuna says to Krishna, Vada me, please tell me now the conclusive truth. You'll see in Bhagavad Gita. Yes. Or Vadiraj. So Vada is the opposite. Actually, this is so true. Why? Because the people, they are most obsessed. You see, the material people are most obsessed in trying to create something. People are so obsessed about creation because they want to create something. This is my house, my industry, this is my estate, my empire, so on, my business. So, and people are just obsessed about. This is exactly like children playing with cards and trying to make tower of cards. Exactly as useless and as worthless as that. So sometimes people are saying, no, 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 it's my creation. How can I get out of it? I have to be engaged and crossed within it because it's my creation. So people are lost in that. A devotee doesn't waste much time in trying to make these play card transient creations and then trying to take a false pride that I am such a big creator. Um, you have to understand all creations are embedded in Krishna. So sometimes materialistically, people try to create something very, people try to create something here, there, but still, people end up creating tiny bitty, at max. Like I see my own father, his whole life, professional life, what he has created, a small house, that's all. Maybe about 3 4 crores. That's but one is a devotee of Krishna. For the service of Krishna, one can see amazing creations. I was hearing a lecture of Srila Prabhupada yesterday. Prabhupada was saying, you see this, Prabhupada was referring to, I think Prabhupada was referring to London. The Prabhupada was saying we were in a small place and we are practicing Krishna consciousness. But Krishna had arranged a very big place for us, very street. I believe it is London, very street. So I don't know whether it is manner. Uh, so very street. Prabhupada said that okay, Krishna has arranged this for us. Prabhupada said, learn to depend on Krishna. Krishna will give everything what is needed for his mission. Prabhupada said, learn to depend on Krishna. He said, it's very street property, such a big property. And then Prabhupada is saying that uh, none of you, in your whole life of endeavor, you cannot even dream of building up such a big place like this. Let's say, learn to depend on Krishna. If we depend on Krishna, we can get overwhelming responsibility. So there's no point in trying to, mess up, trying to create some caricature toys here and there. Postponing Krishna consciousness. Better depend on Krishna. Krishna wants, Krishna can give unbelievably uh, gigantic. And without much efforts. Without much efforts. That's how the Lord is saying all the creations. From the beginning, the middle, the end. But the science is now spiritual science. among the logicians and the conclusive truth. So that's why Lord Krishna says, if you know the science of bhakti, nothing further remains to be known. Because if you have the conclusive truth finished, no arguments, nobody can argue, nobody can speak in it. Finished. That's the Vada, conclusive truth. Aksharana Akarosme Dvandva Samashikasya cha Aham Evakya Evakshaya Kalo Dhata Vishvatokha. Of the letters, I am the letter A. Among the compound words, I am the dual compound. And I am also inexhaustible time. And of the creators, I am Brahma. So, A or Akara, the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet, at the beginning of the Vedic literature, Akara, nothing can be sounded. Therefore, at the beginning of sound. In Sanskrit, there are so many compound words, of which the dual compound word like Rama, Krishna is called Dvandva. In this compound, the words Rama and Krishna have the same form, and therefore the compound is dual. Among all kinds of killer, the time is the ultimate because time kills everything. Time is a representative of Krishna because in due course of time there will be great fire and everything will be behind. So among the living entities who are created, Brahma who has four, therefore he is a representative of the Supreme. See, a devotee is fully dependent on the time factor, and understanding the time factor, the devotee has full faith. But okay, even if things are going here and there, in time, everything inauspicious will be exposed and expelled, and everything inauspicious will be reinforced. And therefore, we should have great faith in the time factor. That's the point. Krishna consciousness is the beginning of everything. We see that when sufficient emphasis and dedication is given on the Krishna consciousness, everything else flourishes seamlessly. Therefore, Prabhupada says material well-being always follows spiritual well-being. So Krishna consciousness is the beginning. And then Prabhupada is talking about the dual compound. Sometimes in language there are alankars, embellishments. So Krishna is the best embellishment in anything we do, speak, or think. Mrityu sarvaharascha Udbhavascha Vishyata Kirti Shrir Vakachanarina Smitir Medha Shama. I am the all-devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among the women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. As soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. The death is devouring every living entity at any moment, but the last stroke is called death itself. Death is Krishna. As for future development, all the living entities undergo six basic changes. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce, they dwindle, finally they vanish. Of these changes, the first is the deliverance from the womb, that is Krishna. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. The seven opulences which are listed, fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience, are all considered. So if a person possesses all of them or some of them, he becomes glorious. So if a man is famous as a righteous man, that makes him glorious. Sanskrit, Sanskrit is a perfect language and is therefore very glorious. If after studying one can remember a subject matter, he is gifted with a good memory or smriti. And the ability not only to read many books on different subject matters, but to understand them and apply them when necessary is called intelligence, that is made. Another opulence, the ability to overcome unsteadiness is firmness or steadfastness, that the and when one is fully qualified, yet is humble and gentle, and one is able to keep the balance between both sorrow and an ecstasy of joy, he has the opulence of patience. Yeah. So I was saying, a man is born intelligent. So actually, in material life, we see, a devotee never dies. Why? Because the devotee knows that this body may go away, but my service to Krishna and my relationship with Krishna will continue. That's right. A steady devotee is not afraid of death. As for a devotee, death is an opportunity to participate in direct service of the Lord, to participate in the mission of the Lord. For a devotee, it's like that. So when we take shelter of Krishna, we can experience infinite land, no? The shelter. But when you turn away from Krishna, we fall down a cliff. So no Krishna, that's a cliff. With Krishna, there is no fall. Brihat Samadha Samah Gayatri Chandasamam Masana Margashesho Rituna Kusumakara. Of the hymns in the Samaveda and the Brihatsa, of the poetry and poetry, of the months and Margashirsha, the November and December, of the seasons and the flower bearing spring. Yeah. Samaveda is rich in beautiful songs played by various demigods. One of these songs is Brihat song, which is exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. In Sanskrit, there are definite rules that regulate poetry, rhyme, meter. So rhyme and meter are not written musically, as in much modern poetry. Among the regulated poetry, the Gayatri Mantra, which is chanted by the newly qualified Brahmanas, is the most prominent. The Gayatri Mantra is mentioned in Bhagavatam because the Gayatri is especially meant for God realization. It represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people, and when one attains success in chanting it, then he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must first acquire the qualities of the perfectly situated person, the qualities of goodness according to the laws of material nature in order to chant the Gayatri. Gayatri Mantra is very important in the Vedic civilization. One is considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahma. Brahma is its initiator and is passed down from him in disciplic succession. Now, the month of November December is considered the best of all months because in India, grains are collected from the fields at this time. The people become very happy. So, of course, the spring is a season universally liked because it's not too hot, not too cold. The flowers in the trees burst with flourish. So, in spring, there are also many ceremonies commemorating Krishna's pastime, and therefore, this is considered to be the most joyful of all seasons. Dyutam chalayatam asmin. Tejas Tejasvi Jayosmi Vyavasayosmi Sattvam Sattvatam. I am also the gambling of the cheats and of the splendid. I am the splendid. I am victory. I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. There are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all the cheating processes, the gambling stands supreme, and therefore it represents Krishna. As the supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deficit. Yet deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it's all-sided. Yes, Krishna is all-sided, not one-sided. Anoraniya, Mahato Mahima. Among the victorious, his victory, he is a splendor of the splendid. And among the enterprising and industrious, he's the most enterprising and most industrious. Among adventurous, he's the most adventurous. And among the strong, he's the strongest. And Krishna was present in earth. No one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted more than him. No one can surpass him in cheating. No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise. And no one can surpass him in strength. कृषीनादासुदेवोऽस्मि पाण्डवान् धनञ्जय मुनिनामपि अहं व्यास कवीनां भूषण कवि of the descendants of Krishna and Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas and Arjuna, of the sages and Vyasa, and among the great thinkers and Bhushan. Krishna's original supreme personality, Bharat and Baladev, is Krishna's immediate expansion. Both Lord Krishna and Baladev appear as sons of Vasudeva. So both of them may be called as Vasudeva. From another point of view, because Krishna never deals with love and all the forms of Krishna that appear elsewhere are his expansion. So Vasudeva is Krishna's immediate expansion. So Vasudeva is not different from Krishna. It is to be understood that Vasudeva referred to in this verse of Bhagavad Gita. From another point of view, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, all the forms of Krishna that appear elsewhere are his expansions. Vasudeva is Krishna's immediate expansion, so Vasudeva is not different from Krishna. It is to be understood that Vasudeva referred to this verse of Bhagavad Gita as Baladeva or Bala, because he is the original source of all the incarnations, and thus he is the sole source of Vasudeva. The immediate expansion of the Lord of God, Swaamsha, just personal expansions, and there are also expansions which are called as Vibhinna. So among the sons of Pandu, Arjuna is famous as Dhananjaya. He is the best of men, therefore he represents Krishna. Among the Munis, or learned men, conversant in Vedic knowledge, Vyasa is the greatest because he explained the Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common man. And Vyasa is also known as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyasa also represents Krishna. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. See, among the Kavi, Bhushana, that is Sukracharya, Bhushana, was a spiritual master of the demon. He was extremely intelligent, far-seeing politician. So Shukracharya is another representative of the opposite of Krishna. Yeah, Bhava Bhakti, one of the symptoms is one becomes a Kavi, becomes very intelligent. So whatever is needed, the Krishna Divya Gyan Vidya Prakash. Vyasadeva, the Shakti Avesh Avatar of the Lord. So, so Krishna consciousness is all encompassing. That's what we learn. Let's read further. दण्डोदमयतमस्मि नीतिरस्मि जिगीषता मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यतम् ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतमः among all means of suppressing lawlessness and the punishment those who seek victory and the morality. Of the secret things and silence, and of the wise and wisdom. See, there are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field or the other, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential associates, activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is the most important because by silence one can make progress very quickly. A wise man who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures, such knowledge is Krishna himself. Yacchapi sarvabhutana bijam tattam arjuna natadasti vinayasya maya bhutam characharam. Furthermore, Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being moving or unmoving that can exist without. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. Whatever existence is not found on the energy of Krishna is called Maya. That which is not. There is nothing which Krishna cannot. So actually, we can see the more one is serious in Krishna consciousness, the more one can actually see, actually get proof of the powers of Krishna. This may seem meditation and visualization to the young devotee. Actually, one can realize this powers of Krishna if one is advancing. So, it's not just a meditation, but one can see this power of Krishna actually acting. So the more seriously we take to Krishna consciousness, the more we can see the reality of Krishna consciousness manifest in front of us. Nantosti mama divyana vibhutinam parantapa esha tude satah prokto vibhutir vistaro maya. O mighty conqueror of the enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. So I stated in the Vedic literature all the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways. There is no limit to such opulence. Therefore, Not all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply a few examples are being described to originate to pacify inquisitiveness. So Krishna's now the description itself is also very vast, what the Lord is saying. But the Lord is saying this is just introductory. Like somebody, uh, uh, like somebody who has zero knowledge about any field. If such a person asks a question about the field, like say an illiterate person is asking a doctor, okay, so what do you learn in medical science? What is medical science? What it is all? Can you tell in 5 minutes? So this is exactly what the Lord is answering, just this type of a question. So like an illiterate person is telling, okay, you are a computer engineer. What do you know about computer? My computer is giving problem. Can you repair it? What kind of engineering? So, so somebody is asking this kind of question that okay, in 5 minutes, can you tell what is your computer science all about? So that is what the Lord is giving, and this answer itself so perfect and complete and so powerful. This is Krishna. Yadyadvibhuti Matsattvam Srimad Eva Tat Evavagachatvam Mama Tejo Amsha Sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring but from but a spark of my splendor. So anything glorious or beautiful existence should be considered to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or the material world. Anything extraordinarily opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. See, when one has this knowledge, then one will not be disturbed in this material. Like one time, Radha Maharaj was saying in the lecture, like suppose you're walking on the street and you're seeing a beautiful girl. Now what should one think? So one sees the beautiful girl, what should one think? If one thinks, oh, beautiful girl, let me make friendship. No. I'm finished, it's demoniac. Such a person will fall into lust. We understand Krishna consciousness, we understand, oh, that beautiful girl, that beauty is coming from Krishna. Krishna is so beautiful. So it will enhance so everything in this material world can catalyze our surrender and Sharanagati to Krishna. That's the point. That is what Krishna consciousness is all about. Not that we are Krishna consciousness only when nothing is on our plate and we get to interface something beautiful before we Krishna. I said, no, the Krishna is aside. No, that is the money. अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तमर्जुन निस्तभ्यामिदं कृष्ण एकं क्षेम सितोजन. But what needs there, Arjuna, for all these detailed knowledge is a single fragment of myself and pervade and support the entire universe. The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the material universe by his entering into all things, such as the super soul, as a super soul. The Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. He should know that all things are existing because Krishna is entering them as super soul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant, all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. There is a mission that regularly propounds that worship of any demigod will lead to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Supreme Goal. But worship of the demigod thoroughly discouraged here. Because even the greatest demigod like Brahma and Shiva represent only part of the opulence of the Supreme. But he is the origin of everyone. Born, and no one is greater than him. He is Asama Purutva, which means nobody is superior to him and that nobody is equal to him. In the Padma Purana, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category as demigods, be they even Brahma and Shiva, becomes at once an atheist if, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulence and expansions of Krishna's energy. And one can understand it without any doubt the position of Sri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all pervading by the expansion of his partial representation. The super soul who enters into everything that is pure devotee, therefore concentrate their minds on Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in the conservative position. So, devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter, verses 8 to. That is the way of pure devotional service. So, how one can attain the highest devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Baladev Vidyabhushan, a great Acharya in the disciplic succession, concludes his commentary on this chapter by saying, Yash Shakti Lesha Suryatya Bhavanti Ati Uguratejasa Yadamshen Thitam Vishwam Swa Krishna Dasame Vichate Arshayate. From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power. And by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Shri Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna is worshipable. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the matter of the opulence of the Absolute. So therefore, fixity in Krishna consciousness means one is not bewildered at any cost. Many times devotees say, don't get bewildered by the razzle and dazzle of this world. Don't get bewildered by making comparisons with the non-devotees in this world. But many people feel, oh, I'm devotee. But my non-devotee colleagues, see, they have gone so further. They have become big managers. They have become big entrepreneurs. They have purchased multi-dimensional mansions. Look at me. Where am I? Now, so the devotee should not get bewildered seeing all this. Because these are tiny beauty. The devotee plays final stroke. A devotee plays the final stroke. So this is where it is. Like I remember one devotee was speaking about Bharat Maharaj. And one devotee was asking, hey, Bharat Maharaj, Jada Bharat. Actually, there are many sequel of sessions, and we happened to come in the last session. We were describing Jada Bharat. And then he says, hey, I have a question. What is great about Jada Bharat? He did nothing. He was sleeping. He was behaving like a dull man and this and that. What did he do? Yes, for a very long time, he was sleeping like a dull man. For a few moments, he got up from his sleep. And for those few moments when he got up from his sleep, what did he do? He converted the king of the entire place into a devotee. And the king is converted into devotee. What it means? He converted the entire kingdom into devotee. You know? That is the power of a devotee. So that is the Lord Krishna says, see the fragment. You see Jada Bharat. You know, what is this? Jada Bharat power. Jada Bharat is in trance. Actually, he is not dull. He is in trance. He is samadhi. You know? But new people cannot understand that. They will be like, that is not contributing to society. Is that what did he do? You know? So, okay, even if you say that he was sleeping, you know, so many decades in his life, for 10 minutes he got up from sleep, and in 10 minutes he converted the king into a devotee only. Like, so you see, this is the master stroke. No, the devotee plays that master stroke, no? Like that. So, like say for example, fundraising is happening. No? Everybody's struggling every day, raising funds, calling up different contacts, bringing them, making them do worship of the Lord, and this and that. Somebody getting 1 lakh, somebody getting 50,000. No? And you see somebody sleeping, he's just sleeping in the ashram. No? The deadline is 3 months. No? This devotee goes out one day, gets 5 crores. Powerful, no? So like that. The devotee is like that. Krishna consciousness is like that. Krishna consciousness is like that. So if we continue in Krishna consciousness, the impact is going to be very powerful, provided we continue like that. So if you see Prabhupada was just struggling, how many devotees, Palena Parichit, what is that? Yeah. How many devotees Prabhupada made when he was in his 30s? How many devotees he made when he was in 40s, in his 50s? It doesn't seem to be there something substantial, but that's not the end of the game. That's the point. So one need not be bewildered. So we may see our colleagues, working in at whatever position, different companies. But if we continue on Krishna consciousness, one will end up in making the owner of that company only into devotee. So, like that. So, that the Krishna consciousness is very powerful. And therefore the Lord is telling, to get bewildered with a single fragment of myself I pervade everything. So let's stop here for today. Granthra Bhagavad Gita ki, Shri Prabhupada ki. So this completes the 10th chapter. Next week we'll begin with chapter 11. And tomorrow is the Shloka test for unit 2 at 8 o'clock in the morning. Same zone.